Hey guys, Natalie Newhart here, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about happiness and, how do we achieve happiness, what creates it, because I think it's really easy for us, especially, I think just everyone in general, to think that we'll be happy once I achieve this or do X. Like for me, and this is something I've had to learn over and over and over. Um, and I think I'm starting to, or I've realized really what makes me happy. But for the longest time, I thought like, oh, if I was the best CrossFitter, that would make me happy. If I made it to the CrossFit Games, then I would be happy. Or if I clean and jerk 225, well, then I would be happy. Or if I got my dream truck, that's what would make me happy. If I made so much money, and so on. I mean, it's good to have goals, and I strongly believe you should always be progressing towards goals and setting new standards and never just being comfortable. But I think, I know that there's a difference between really thinking that achieving something is actually going to make you happy. And another good one is like, oh, if I just had a six pack, or if I had a ripped body, then I would be happy. But the thing is, guys, like, it's just like everything else. As soon as you achieve whatever it is that you think is going to make you happy, whether it be the brand new car or a, six-figure income, or the six pack, once you do achieve it, you might be happy for like, I don't know, days, minutes, maybe even just seconds, and then as soon as you achieve it, it's like, okay, well, what's next, and then you go back into that cycle of, okay, well, I'll be happy if I now make 8-figure income or something like that, and so you basically end up just chasing this moving target that you'll never achieve. So most people believe that happiness lies on the other side of achievement, and we all typically need to relearn that that is not the case. That achieving something doesn't make you happy, or at least it's not going to stick or last. You can create happiness. You create happiness through 3 other ways. Some ideas that I'm going to be sharing. But, putting happiness on the other side of a moving target that you're never going to reach is just putting yourself in just kind of a rat race. And you end up never really finding that internal peace of that happiness can actually be within you, like all the time. So versus just lasting a few minutes and then thinking something else is going to make you happy. So what does create happiness? I have 3 things, and these are some things that I have not only experienced myself, but also I listen to a lot of different podcasts, and just like, things that I've learned from other people. One that I know I've personally experienced is gratitude, expressing gratitude. So recognizing the abundance that you already have in your life. Like when you actually take the time to think about that, you realize how grateful you really are compared to some other people who, are grateful if they can just live another day, So one thing that I've done in the past, and I've kind of gotten off, out of habit, and I need to actually start doing it over again, is expressing 3 things that you're grateful for every single day. And the key is to try not to repeat those same 3 things every day. So that way, if you can't repeat them, then you're going to have to start looking elsewhere for the things that you're grateful for. And when you start looking for things that you're grateful for, you end up seeing more things that you're grateful for. It's just like when you're out shopping for a new car, and you know, I'm looking for a new Toyota Tacoma. Well, all of a sudden when I'm on the road, all I see are Toyota Tacomas. Or if you're painting your house a certain color and a certain color red, and all of a sudden all you see are like these red colors, you know. So whenever what you look for, you end up seeing more of. So if you look for good things in your life, you'll end up seeing more good things. And then the same goes in the opposite. If you look for negative things in your life, you'll see more negative things, and it'll just be all around you. So that's why gratitude works, is, you know, when you're searching for those things that you are grateful for, then you will be overwhelmed and notice how much you are grateful for, and you'll just end up being a more positive, happy person. And so you can do that either just, you know, I usually do it either before bed or in the morning, and I'll just think of 3 things that I'm grateful for. And it can be something super simple, like, you know, your super comfy pillow, or, you know, maybe somebody in your life, somebody more impactful, you know. But the point is to just make it a habit so that it's always on your mind and you are always aware of it, and you just can appreciate more in life. And another thing that you can do is, this is one that I think is really cool, is instead of saying, I have to do this, you say, I get to do this. So instead of saying, oh, I have to go to the gym, or I have to cook dinner, or I have to go to the grocery store, change I have to's to I get to. So I get to train today. I get to go to the gym. I get to cook dinner. I get to go to the grocery store. And just that simple transformation in that sentence, just allows you to be more thankful for the things that you get to do, okay? Because you start to realize that it really is something you should be grateful for, you know, because a lot of people don't have the same opportunities that we have. And it just naturally puts you in a better state of mind, just makes you more happier and more, you know, just wanting to interact and just talk about positive things. So that's number 1, gratitude, expressing gratitude either to somebody else or just to yourself, but doing that on a consistent basis. And then number 2 would be to give back in some way. Well, actually give back more so with like your time and energy to other people or places. Because time is really the only thing that isn't renewable, isn't a renewable resource. So as soon as you give it away, there's no way you can take time back. And so that's why it can be so like moving, and make such an impact. Whereas money is renewable. So if you were to just give money away, well, I can just make that money back. So it doesn't feel the same way. And, you know, so like that's definitely, I think that's a huge thing. It can be hard. I mean, I've, you know, donated my time to a lot of different people, and in the end, it does feel good to just like not be so selfish, you know, and to put other people first before yourself. And again, I think it just helps create a sense of happiness or peace within you. And then the last thing, which this is new to me, and I can see how impactful it would be, but the third thing to, like, you know, being able to create happiness is through relationships. So, and not just like how many relationships, but actually having like deep, meaningful, loving relationships. There was a really long study, like one of the longest studies ever done in history. It was a 70-year study, and it was done at Harvard University, and they basically studied both like the richest of the rich and then the poorest of the poor groups of people, and they studied them for like 70 years and lived with them and like monitored their habits and everything. And the number one correlate to living the longest, happiest, disease-free, and healthiest lives were people who had the best relationships in their life. And it didn't matter how many friends or how many relationships you had. It was more how the depth of each one of those relationships were. So, having those deep, meaningful conversations with people, and versus having just like a very not fake, but very shallow type of relationship. And that's what they found, is that the people that were the happiest were the ones that just had really deep, meaningful relationships. And that relationships pretty much trumped everything else. It trumped gratitude, it trumped like giving back, and that's what ultimately made people happy. So just some cool things, just because I just thought it'd be cool to share, because as a nutrition coach and then also as an athlete, I'm always thinking, oh, well, if I win this, I'm going to be happy. And of course, I'm always going to be striving to win, right? I'm not actually saying that winning is the only thing that's going to make me happy. But, the process of pushing myself to give myself the chance to win, the process of it is what makes me happy, making sure that I give it everything I have. However, I know that it gives me satisfaction in what I'm doing. But like having a six-pack and having that ripped body, although like in the past I've thought, oh, I'll be happy once I look like this, or I'll be happy, once I can make this much money. And time after time, I have to relearn the fact that actually, like, it may make me happy for a split second, but it does not stick or last. And I just want other people to remember that, because I have a lot of clients that are overweight, and they think that once they achieve this body weight, then they're going to be happy. But the thing is, you can just decide to be happy now. And of course, losing that weight will help give you more confidence, but that look specifically isn't what's going to make you happy. Happiness, I think, stems more deep inside. And it starts with like those three things. So gratitude, giving back, and having deep, meaningful relationships. So thanks for joining me, guys. Hopefully you got a little something out of it, or at least just a reminder of, putting things into perspective. And I hope you plan to join me next time. Don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter, where I talk about motivation, nutrition tips, training, all sorts of stuff. You can find that newsletter on my website. If you go to natalienewhart.com, type in your email address, and you'll be subscribed to all the juicy stuff I have to say. Thanks again, guys. We'll talk to you later.